Okay, so for me, I listed out my gifts and talents. That was the first step. And I've got gifts and talents in a few different areas that I kind of identified, as we all do. And the first one for me that came to mind was around connection, around communication, around influence and persuasion. It was also for me around energy, around like a positive, enthusiastic, kind of contagious kind of an energy, right? Like a passion. So there was all those kind of gifts, and I kind of lifted them all out. So what is it about language and words and storytelling and all the different ways that I can connect with people, right? What is it about influence and persuasion and all the different ways that I can really support people to make good life choices, right? And what is it about my energy and my positive, enthusiastic encouragement and, you know, that kind of contagious, bubbly kind of wanting to connect with people and wanting to be connected. So I listed out all the gifts around that. And then, of course, the second step is, you know, what are the specific roles or activities that I've done, of course. So, you know, in my life, I looked at how I've used that gift of connection, and literally over the last couple of decades, I've had, you know, literally thousands of conversations with people where we've been able to very quickly connect at a deep level, and I've supported them to make really good life choices based on where they're at and where they're headed. And that's really, you know, been the huge part of my professional career and the work that I've done. And that's led me into a lot of different sales roles. So in sales, you know, we get to connect and build rapport and understand where people are at, and then support them to make good life choices on basically what they're going to do next as their next step. So I've helped a lot of people to overcome their fears and overcome their challenges and get into a program or a retreat or a, you know, some kind of program or product that's really going to support them moving forward in their life in the priority areas of their life that they're looking for support in. So I went, right, there's the gifts. And that's how I've used them. Now, of course, there's unlimited different ways that I could use those gifts, but that's just, you know, one of the ways that I've chosen to express that specific set of gifts. You with me? So another set of gifts that I had was around, you know, my athletic ability, my physical talent. So this was around, you know, strength and power and endurance and flexibility and being in my body and be able to move my body with precision and with, you know, in exact ways. Now, of course, there's lots and lots of different ways where you could express those kind of talents. And we know lots of people who have extraordinary, you know, physical intelligence in their body, and they become athletes or dancers or yogis or, you know, all the different ways that you can imagine that you could express that. And for me, it was all around bikes early on. So I rode freestyle BMX, and then I got into freestyle motocross, and then super bikes, and then eventually downhill mountain bike and free riding. So I'm riding over cliffs and jumping off buildings and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And last year I won the Asia Pacific Downhill Challenge, which was very exciting. So, you know, that's one way that I used my athletic ability and physical talent. That's not the only way. I also found that I could move my body with precision and really enjoy playing the piano. I love music. So, you know, another way, which is very different to extreme sports and mountain biking and motocross, was playing the piano. I play beautiful, you know, classical piano, and really love to do that because it's a way for me to express my gifts, right? The third one, I'll give you one more example of a set of gifts that I had, and there was a handful more, but I have one around my imagination, I guess, but it's vision, it's creativity. And for me, this was very closely associated with a real sense of optimism, you know, a sense of hope and faith in the future, and really expecting the best, seeing the best in people and expecting the best from them, and also seeing the best in humanity in general. And you know, really, I guess I've got an idealistic kind of view for the future for people on the planet. So there's, you know, really exciting ways that, you know, that I imagine how life could be for myself, my family, and the people that I'm connected with, and for life on the planet in general. And, you know, that's probably one that I have enjoyed privately, but not necessarily expressed a whole lot. And that's definitely one that, you know, in the third step, I'm challenging myself, what's my purpose for that specific set of gifts? All right? So then, of course, the third question is, you know, if God had this important mission for me, and if the gifts required to successfully complete that mission were the exact gifts that I've been given, that I've just identified, what would the mission be? Right? So I looked at, okay, so I've got this idealistic, you know, hope for humanity and this beautiful vision for the future. I've got this athletic ability and this talent, and I've also got this, you know, this love of connecting with people and really this, you know, enthusiastic energy. So for me, it's like, well, you know, if I'd given someone that set of gifts and I'd expected an outcome back from that, the outcome for me, you know, quite probably would be something about inspiring people with good ideas. So we've got a whole bunch of good ideas here about what's possible for humanity. Let's go out and inspire people with that. And of course, there's the athletic ability, the physical side. So let's not just talk about it, let's actually build it. Let's actually create something where we're building a better future. So for me, the purpose became, or the mission became, how can I, really connect with people and inspire them with a vision for a bright future and actually work together to build that. Right? It's really cool. And I go, wow, that's some great clarity on my life's purpose. Right? So then step 4 was, if this mission was a success, what would be the outcome for humanity? And of course, the flip side of the coin, if this mission was a failure, what would be the outcome for humanity? So, this is your time to really dream and imagine and say you could express your gifts in the fullest sense, and you could really fulfill your purpose and your destiny in a very powerful way. For me, I would think, well, humanity would be far better off because we'd be better connected. We'd have structures and, cities and towns in place and communities in place where we're really expressing the most beautiful possibilities for humanity in the future of our planet. And we're in a very interesting time on the planet right now where at once we are doing more damage than we've ever been able to do in the history of mankind to the planet every single day. And this can be depressing, right? But the other side of it is, at once we're also doing more good for the planet than we've ever been able to do in the history of humanity. So we're at this really, this kind of tipping point. It's really exciting. And it's like, well, you just get to choose which kind of thing we want to contribute to, right? So that would be for me, success or failure of my mission, ultimately would be part of being successful failure for humanity's ability or right to continue on this planet, right? And I go, whoa, that's so important, that's so significant, that's such a big deal. I would love to be able to contribute to the survival, and not just the survival, but really, for my kids, for their kids, for future generations to have an extraordinary experience of life on planet Earth, right? So then the final question is now, like I said, where the rubber hits the road, and what new actions and new outcomes do you choose from all this insight that you've gained from this reflection and this kind of process that you've been through. So step 5 for me, I talked about choosing the end result of, really first and foremost, just acknowledging and receiving my full set of gifts and not accepting some and denying others, right? So I'm just going to receive the gifts that I've got and acknowledge those. And I think that's a really important first step for me. The next choice that I made was to choose the end result of really developing my gifts and all the gifts that I've got, the ones that I know about, that are fun, that I love, and also the ones that scare me, that bring up in me feelings of, am I good enough? Am I enough? Can I actually do this, right? Or, that challenge me in different ways. So it's like to accept them and then to actually develop them. And then the third step was like to accept that by accepting and developing my gifts and pursuing my purpose, this is really going to create a powerful destiny for me on the planet. And, for me, like I said, this is about just sharing good ideas with other people. So I thought, what action step would I take from that? Well, let's make a video and share this process, a bit of vulnerability, a bit of exposure, and say, this is what I'm going through, and hopefully be able to connect with you and, support you to make great choices around, understanding your goals, understanding your purpose, and stepping into that power of that and living that more fully and expressing, who you are and who you were born to be in a more authentic and complete kind of way. So I hope this has been helpful for you. It's been exciting and a little bit scary for me to share, a little bit confronting. And I would love to hear your thoughts, comments, observations, any questions. And most importantly, I'd love to hear the action steps that you're choosing based on, this process that you've been through of understanding your goals and this whole step we've been through. So blessings from Bali, and it's been great to connect, and I look forward to actually connecting with you more fully in the near future. Thanks so much. Bye for now.